ridge smells wrong tonight. I'm walking the pine line between our village and the place nobody talks about. The place mothers threaten their children with when they won't come home before dark. Where wolves rule and humans vanish. That's what they say. I should turn back. Every reasonable part of me knows this. But I stopped listening to the reasonable parts a long time ago. The wind cuts through my coat, sharp enough to make my eyes water. Snow crunches under my boots. Each breath comes out in white clouds that disappear into the darkness. Above me, the moon hangs full and cold, turning everything silver and strange. Then I smell it. Blood. Not the clean smell of a hunter's kill. Not even the sad smell of roadkill frozen in a ditch. This is different. Heavy, metallic, wrong against the pine and snow. I stop walking. My grandmother Rowena used to say I had her nose, her instincts. Back then I thought she was just trying to make me feel special. Now I'm not so sure. The smell gets stronger as I move forward, pulled by something I can't explain. My flashlight beam cuts through the trees, catching on branches weighted with snow. Everything is too quiet. Even the wind seems to be holding its breath. Then I hear them. Crying. 3 separate cries, thin and broken and completely out of place in this frozen forest. Not animal sounds, not quite human either. Too small, too desperate. My heart kicks against my ribs. No one with sense crosses the ridge after dark. That's what everyone says. That's what I've heard my whole life. I cross it anyway. The blood trail leads me through thick pine, branches scraping my shoulders. My hands are shaking, but I keep moving. The crying gets louder, more urgent. 3 voices that don't match but somehow belong together. I almost trip over the stone marker. It's old, half buried in snow and earth, carved with symbols I recognize from Rowena's journals. Warning runes, boundary marks. This is where the old treaties were sworn, where humans and wolves agreed to stay separate. Beneath the marker, someone broke every rule. A man is pinned to the frozen ground. Silver stakes. 3 of them. Driven through his chest and shoulders, holding him down like an insect in a collection. His wrists are torn bloody from chains he couldn't break. His skin is burned with symbols I don't understand. Marks that look like they were carved with fire and hate, and curled around his body, protected by his arms even though he's dying, are 3 tiny bundles wrapped in blood-stained cloth. I drop to my knees beside them. My flashlight rolls away, and in the moonlight I see their faces. 3 newborns, triplets. One with dark hair, one fair, one with reddish fuzz barely visible. Their lips are blue at the edges. Their tiny limbs tremble. They're freezing. They're dying. The man's eyes snap open. Gold. Not human. Not anything I've ever seen up close. Wolf eyes, bright and furious and fading. His voice comes out ruined, barely more than a growl. Run. I should. Everything in my body screams at me to get up and run and never look back. Instead, I'm already shrugging off my cloak, wrapping it around the babies, tucking the fabric close to their tiny bodies. Are you insane? He rasps. His hand twitches toward me but can't reach, held down by chains. They'll track my blood. They'll kill you for touching me. Then they'll have to catch me first. I pull out Rowena's knife, the one she made me promise to always carry. The blade is old, some kind of special alloy she never explained. I grip the first silver stake. Don't, he says, but there's no strength behind it. I pull. The stake comes free with a wet sound that makes my stomach turn. His body convulses. Blood wells up, dark and hot against the snow. His hand shoots out and clamps around my wrist, not hard enough to hurt, but strong enough that I feel the claws just under his skin, the barely controlled shift of something not human. Our eyes meet. There's fury there, and pain so deep it makes my chest ache. But there's something else too. Shock, disbelief, as if no one has touched him with anything but hate in a very long time. I feel something pull tight in my chest, a string yanked hard between us. It's not fear, though I should be afraid. It's not pity, though he deserves that. It's something else, something that makes my skin feel too tight and my pulse too fast. Why? His voice cracks. Why would you help me? I don't have a good answer. I don't have any answer except the truth, because someone has to. I free the second stake. He doesn't scream, but his jaw clenches so hard I hear his teeth grind. The third stake is close to his heart. I work it slowly, feeling his blood hot and slick on my hands, feeling his eyes on my face the whole time. When it's finally out, he can breathe again. Deep, shuddering breaths that sound like drowning in reverse. I gather the babies against my chest, tucking them inside my coat where my body heat can reach them. They're so small, so fragile. Their cries have gone quiet, which scares me more than the crying did. Can you walk? He tries to sit up and nearly passes out. I catch his shoulder, steadying him even though he weighs more than I can possibly hold. You're going to get yourself killed, he says. Probably. I shift one baby higher against my chest. But not tonight. I don't know how we make it back. He leans on me, too heavy and too weak, leaving a blood trail in the snow that anyone could follow. The babies stay quiet, pressed against my heartbeat. My cottage is only a mile from the ridge, but it feels like crossing an ocean. By the time we reach my door, my legs are shaking and my lungs are burning. He collapses inside, catching himself on the wall before he can fall on the children. My cottage is small. One room with a loft, a fireplace, shelves full of Rowena's things, herbs hanging from the rafters, clay jars filled with salts and dried flowers, knives in different sizes, each one carved with symbols. Salt lines at every door and window. I thought they were just her superstitions, her way of feeling safe in a lonely place. Now, with a bleeding wolf and 3 human wolf babies in my home, I'm grateful for every single word she taught me. I lay the babies on my bed, tucking blankets around them. They're warming up, but they need food. I have goat's milk from the village. I warm it carefully, testing the temperature on my wrist like Rowena showed me once, years ago, when my cousin's baby was born. The triplets drink, slowly at first, then with more strength. Their tiny hands curl into fists. Their eyes struggle to focus. The dark-haired one hiccups, and something inside me breaks open. I turn to the stranger. He's slumped against the wall, watching me with those impossible gold eyes. Take off your shirt. His mouth almost twitches, like he wants to smile, or maybe laugh at the absurdity of everything. I bring my supplies. Water, cloth, Rowena's herbal paste that smells like pine and bitterness. The wounds are bad, worse than I thought. The silver burned him from the inside out, preventing his body from healing itself. The brands on his chest are symbols I don't recognize, but they feel hateful even to look at. I work in silence, cleaning blood, packing wounds, wrapping bandages. His skin is fever-hot under my hands. Every time I touch him, that strange pull in my chest gets stronger, like a rope being drawn tighter and tighter. He doesn't make a sound. No groans, no gasps, just that intense stare tracking my every movement. What's your name? I ask. Doesn't matter. I just pulled 3 silver stakes out of you. I think I earned a name. He's quiet for so long I think he won't answer. Then, call me whatever you want. Fine. Wolf. I tie off the last bandage. Better than stranger, I guess. They'll come for me, he says quietly. They'll burn this place down to find me. They'll kill you and take the children back to finish the execution. Then I'll make it hard for them. I move to the door and windows, retracing Rowena's salt lines, speaking the old words she taught me. Kale warding rituals, blood recognition wards. Things I always thought were just stories, just comfort, just the rambling of a lonely old woman who spent too much time alone on a cliff. But as I speak the words, something shifts. The air grows heavier. The candles flicker. The salt lines glow faint and brief. When I turn around, he's staring at me with an expression I can't read. You're Kale. It's not a question. My grandmother was Rowena Kale. This was her house. Then you're more dangerous than you look. I don't know what that means, and I'm too tired to ask. I check on the babies one more time. They're asleep now, breathing steady. 3 little bodies pressed together in the center of my bed. I should be terrified. I should be running to the village, confessing everything, begging for protection. Instead, I pull a blanket around my shoulders and sit down on the floor between the stranger and the triplets, Rowena's knife across my lap. If you're planning to hurt them, you'll have to go through me first. He looks at me for a long moment, gold eyes glinting in the firelight. I would die before I let anyone hurt them. Good. I lean my head back against the wall. Then we understand each other. Outside, the wind howls. Snow builds against the windows. And somewhere in the forest, I know, something is tracking the blood trail back to my door. I should be afraid. Maybe I will be, when the sun comes up. But right now, with 3 tiny lives breathing softly behind me, and a dying stranger who I just saved for reasons I can't explain, I feel something else entirely. I feel like I finally did something right. Morning comes too fast and too bright. I wake up on the floor, neck aching, Rowena's knife still across my lap. The fire has burned down to coals. Weak sunlight streams through the gaps in the curtains. For one confused moment, I think last night was a dream. Then I hear it. The soft, wet sound of a baby sucking on its fist, hungry and working up to a cry. I push myself up, muscles protesting. The triplets are awake, squirming under their blankets. The fair-haired one is the noisy one, already building up to a wail. The dark-haired one watches me with solemn eyes. The reddish one is trying to eat their own hand. I scoop them up one at a time, checking them over. No fever, no injuries I can see, just hunger and wet cloths that need changing. I find old baby clothes in Rowena's trunk. She kept everything, saved everything, as if she knew someday someone would need it. The clothes are yellowed with age but clean. I change the triplets carefully, afraid of their tiny fragile bodies, terrified I'll do something wrong. The stranger watches from the corner, where he managed to drag himself during the night. He's propped against the wall, skin pale, except for the fever flush high on his cheeks. His wounds have stopped bleeding, but they're not healing. Not yet. They need names, I say, settling the fair-haired baby against my shoulder. They have names. His voice is rough. Eric, Kira, Lena, which is which? Dark hair is Eric, fair is Kira, red is Lena. I test the names silently. Eric, Kira, Lena. 3 little people with 3 little names and no idea how much danger they're in. And what do I call you? I told you, doesn't matter. It matters to me. He looks away, jaw tight. I'm already dead. The name died with me. I want to argue, but Kira starts crying in earnest. And then Lena joins in, and suddenly I'm trying to juggle 3 babies and warm milk and figure out how to feed them all before they wake the entire forest. I manage, barely. The stranger talks me through it, his voice low and steady, telling me how to hold them, how to check if they're getting enough. He sounds like he's done this before, like he knows babies, which seems impossible for someone who looks like he spent his whole life fighting. When they're fed and changed and finally quiet, I turn my attention back to him. Your turn. I don't need. I didn't ask. I bring water and clean bandages. In daylight, the brands on his chest are even worse. Rejection marks, burned deep. Symbols that scream traitor, outcast, condemned. Who did this to you? People I trusted. Why? Because I broke their rules. He meets my eyes. Because I loved someone I wasn't supposed to love. Because I had children who weren't supposed to exist. I sit back on my heels. The triplets' mother? Dead. The word comes out flat. They killed her. They would have killed the babies too, but I got to them first. Barely. My hand still on the bandage. So you ran. I fought. His smile is bitter. Lost. They staked me at the boundary as a warning. Anyone who breaks the old laws dies outside the pack, outside protection. Human or wolf, it doesn't matter. But the babies are proof I broke the most sacred law. No human wolf children. No mixing bloodlines. No bridges between worlds. He looks at the 3 sleeping infants. They sentenced all 4 of us to die. I think about the village, about the way people look at me. Wrong Saren, odd Saren, the kale girl who lives alone and talks to herbs and doesn't fit anywhere. I've spent my whole life on a different kind of boundary, neither fully part of the village nor fully separate. The old laws are stupid. He laughs, then winces, pressing a hand to his ribs. Careful. People die for saying less. People die for saving babies, apparently. I'm already doomed. I finish wrapping his chest. The wounds are clean now, at least. The silver is out. If he's like the wolves in Rowena's stories, he should start healing soon. Days instead of weeks, fast enough to survive. If they don't find us first, they'll track the blood, he says, reading my thoughts. Your wards will slow them, but they won't stop a full hunting pack. Then we'll be gone before they get here. Where? There's nowhere in wolf territory I can hide, and the humans will turn me over the second they see my eyes. There's one place. I stand, brushing dust from my knees. The old meeting ruins. Rowena used to tell me stories about them. She said the first treaties were sworn there, and the ground remembers. She said if you stand in that circle, neither wolf nor human can touch you without breaking sacred law. Those ruins are legend, myth. Most wolves don't even believe they exist. My grandmother believed. I crossed to the window, looking out at the snow-covered cliff edge, the forest beyond. She said our family came from the first boundary witches, the women who stood between worlds and kept the peace. Boundary witches, he says it like he's testing the weight of the words. I thought that bloodline died out. Maybe it did. Or maybe it's just been hiding. I turn back to him. Either way, we can't stay here. The ruins are our best chance. He studies me for a long moment. You don't have to do this. You could leave right now. Take supplies, run to your village, tell them you were attacked. They'd protect you. And what happens to you? To them? I gesture to the triplets. We die, like we were always going to. No. The word comes out harder than I mean it to. You don't get to give up. Not after I dragged you through the snow. Not after I used my entire supply of silver burn paste on you. You're going to survive. And so are they. And we're going to figure this out. Something shifts in his expression. The hardness cracks. Just for a second. And underneath I see exhaustion so deep it makes my chest hurt. Why? He asks quietly. Why do you care? I don't have a good answer. I barely know these people. I certainly don't understand the pull I feel toward them. The way my heart trips when he looks at me. The fierce protectiveness that rises up every time I look at the sleeping triplets. Because someone should have cared before? I say finally. Someone should have stopped this before it got to silver stakes and dead mothers and babies left to freeze. Since nobody did, I guess it's my job now. He's quiet for a long time. Then, so soft I almost miss it. Thank you. I busy myself gathering supplies, food that won't spoil, blankets, Rowena's knives and salt, her journals, because they might have information we need. I fashion slings from fabric so we can carry the babies against our bodies, leaving our hands free. The stranger sleeps in fits, never deeply, always half alert. When he wakes, he watches me move around the cottage, his gold eyes tracking every movement. You're not afraid of me, he says once. Should I be? Most humans would be. I'm not most humans. I wrap another bundle. Rowena made sure of that. She trained you. She taught me stories, herbs, old words. I thought she was just keeping me occupied, giving me something to do since I didn't fit in the village. I pause, remembering. Maybe she knew something I didn't. The Kale witches always knew more than they said. I glance at him. You know about my family. Everyone knows about the Boundary Witches, or knew, when they still existed. They were the only thing keeping humans and wolves from tearing each other apart. He shifts, grimacing. When the witches died out, the treaties got stricter, harsher, no contact between species, no crossing the line. The boundary became a wall instead of a bridge. Rowena used to say walls just make people curious about what's on the other side. Your grandmother was wise. I think about Rowena, alone in this cottage, teaching a strange granddaughter words and rituals that seemed pointless at the time. Did she know? Did she see something in me? Some future where I'd be standing here with a bleeding wolf and 3 forbidden babies, trying to remember everything she taught me? Night falls fast. I feed the triplets again, marveling at how quickly they've learned to suck, how their tiny fingers grip my thumb. Eric watches everything with serious dark eyes. Kira cries the loudest. Lena falls asleep mid-feeding, milk dribbling from her mouth. I'm putting them down when the stranger tries to stand. He makes it halfway before his legs give out. I catch him, barely. He's heavy and hot with fever, and having him this close makes my pulse race in a way that has nothing to do with fear. Easy, I say. You're not healed yet. I should be healing faster. His frustration is obvious. The silver is out. I should be recovering. You almost died. Give yourself time. We don't have time. He's right, but I don't say so. Instead, I help him back to his makeshift bed, trying not to notice the way his skin burns under my hands, the hard muscle beneath the bandages, the way he smells like pine and smoke and something wild. When I pull away, his hand catches my wrist. Not tight, just enough to stop me. Saren. It's the first time he said my name. It sounds different in his voice, rougher, almost careful. What? If they come before I'm strong enough to fight, take the children and run. Don't try to protect me. That's not happening. Saren. I said no. I pull free, my heart hammering. We all survive, or we don't. He stares at me like I'm speaking another language. Maybe I am. Maybe nobody has ever refused to leave him before. I settle near the fire, wrapped in blankets, Rowena's knife beside me. The triplets sleep in a nest of quilts. The stranger lies awake, watching the darkness beyond the windows. Outside, the wind picks up. It sounds like howling. It sounds like hunting. I tell myself it's just wind. Just weather. Just my imagination running wild because I'm scared and exhausted and in way over my head. But deep down, I know better. They're coming. And when they arrive, everything I've ever known, everything I thought was safe, is going to burn. The stranger is healing. It's been 3 days since I found him, and the change is visible. His wounds close faster than human injuries, pink scar tissue replacing raw flesh. The fever breaks. His color returns. When he stands now, he doesn't sway. We've settled into a rhythm. I care for the triplets while he regains strength. He tells me things about wolf culture, careful instructions on how to move through their territory if we're caught, what to say, what not to say, how to show submission without looking weak. It feels wrong, learning how to survive in a world that wants us dead, but it also feels necessary. He still won't tell me his name. I've stopped asking. Wolf suits him anyway, suits the way he moves now that he's recovering. Graceful, dangerous, like violence wrapped in human skin. We're feeding the triplets when it happens. Kira is in my arms, making small, satisfied noises as she drinks. Eric is with the stranger, his tiny hand wrapped around one large finger. Lena sleeps between us, full and content, domestic, almost peaceful. The kind of moment that makes you forget you're living on borrowed time. Then the stranger goes completely still. Get the babies. His voice is flat, calm, terrifying in its certainty. What? Now. Take them to the cellar. I smell it a second later. Smoke. Not from our fire. From outside. I scoop up Kira and Lena while he grabs Eric. We move fast, dropping through the trapdoor into Rowena's earth cellar. It's small, dark, smelling of root vegetables and dirt. She dug it for bad winters and worse men, she used to say. I thought she was being dramatic. The stranger hands me Eric, then climbs back up. Stay here. Don't make a sound. Where are you? Protecting you. The trapdoor closes. I hear him drag something heavy over it. A table, maybe, hiding the entrance. Then I hear voices. Spread out. He's here. I can smell the blood. The whole place reeks of human. Some girl lives here. Then she's dead too. Council orders. No witnesses. My blood goes cold. I press the babies against my chest, one hand over Kira's mouth as she starts to fuss. Above us, footsteps, heavy, multiple people, furniture scraping, glass breaking. Then the smell of smoke gets stronger. They're burning the cottage. I hear the stranger's voice, raw with fury. There's no one here but me. Let the human go. The human aided a condemned criminal. She dies. The sound of fighting. Snarls, thuds, something crashing. The stranger is fighting, but he's not fully healed. Not strong enough yet. I hear him hit the ground hard, find the babies, burn everything else. Above us, flames. I can hear them now, crackling and hungry. Smoke starts to seep through the floorboards, thin gray fingers reaching down into our hiding spot. The triplets sense danger. Eric's face scrunches up. Lena starts to cry. A thin wail I can't stop. Kira thrashes in my arms. We're going to die down here. Suffocate or burn. They'll find our bodies later. 4 more casualties in a war I didn't know existed until 3 days ago. No. Rowena's voice echoes in my memory. The cellar has secrets, Saren. If you're ever trapped, remember what I taught you. The kale line doesn't end in fire. I fumble in the darkness, running my hands along the walls. Dirt and stone and roots. Nothing unusual, nothing helpful. Then my fingers catch on something. A gap in the stones. A draft of cold air. I dig at it, tearing away roots and packed earth. The gap widens. Behind it, darkness. A tunnel. The hidden kale tunnel. The escape route Rowena talked about in stories I thought were fairy tales. Smoke fills the cellar. I can barely breathe. The babies are coughing, crying. Above us, the floor groans and splinters. I gather the triplets against my chest and squeeze through the gap. The tunnel is narrow, cold. Roots hang from the ceiling, brushing my hair. I can't see anything except the faint glow of marks on the wall. Symbols that light up when my hand touches them. Kale marks, blood recognition wards. They're responding to me, showing me the way. I crawl forward, the babies bundled against my body, praying the stranger follows, praying he's alive to follow. Behind me, I hear scraping, heavy breathing. Then his voice, rough and relieved. Keep moving. We crawl forever. My knees bruise. My shoulders ache. The triplets cry until they're too tired to cry anymore, until they just whimper against my chest. The tunnel slopes down, then up, twisting through earth and roots. The marks on the walls glow brighter the further we go. I feel their power, old magic humming through stone. This isn't just a tunnel. It's a sacred path, protected, warded, built by women who knew someday their descendants would need to run. Finally, the tunnel opens. We spill out into cold night air. I gasp, gulping down clean breath, holding the babies tight. We're in a clearing I don't recognize, far from my cottage, far from the kill line. Stone markers surround us, tall ones, carved with symbols that hurt to look at. In the center is a flat stone altar, and beyond it, a circle of standing stones weathered smooth by time. The stranger emerges behind me, covered in dirt and blood. His eyes sweep the clearing and go wide. This is impossible. What is this place? The first circle. He turns slowly, taking in the stones. The meeting ground, where humans and wolves swore the original treaties. He looks at me. This place is legend. Most wolves believe it was destroyed centuries ago. My grandmother knew where it was, because she was Kale. He moves to the nearest stone, running his fingers over carvings I can barely make out in the moonlight. Boundary witches built this place. They held the treaties together with blood magic and old promises. He looks back at me. If this circle still stands, if its protections still hold, then maybe howls cut him off. Close, getting closer. They tracked us. He's already moving, positioning himself between the babies and the forest. Stay behind me. No. I step forward, still holding the triplets, and walk to the center of the stone circle. Seren, what are you? Trust me. I don't know if I trust myself. I only know Rowena's stories, the ones she made me memorize, the ones about standing ground, about blood and stone, about how the first witches held the peace. Wolves emerge from the trees, 5, 6, 7 of them, human-shaped but wrong, eyes too bright, movements too fluid. They spread out, surrounding the circle. One steps forward, tall, dark-haired, expensive clothes covered in ash and blood. He moves like authority, like someone used to being obeyed. His eyes lock on the stranger, and his smile is poison. Hello, cousin. The stranger's entire body goes rigid. Ronan, did you really think you could hide? Did you think some human girl and old stones would save you? Ronan's gaze shifts to me. She's pretty. Is that why you kept her alive? Or did you need someone to carry your abominations while you ran? Leave her alone. The council sentenced you to death, KL. You and your half-breed spawn. There's nowhere in wolf territory that can protect you. Not anymore. Kale. His name is Kale. These ruins are neutral ground, I say, surprised my voice works at all. The old laws are dead. Ronan steps closer to the circle's edge. Just like you're about to be. He moves to cross the boundary, and stops. His foot hovers above the carved line in the stone. He pushes harder, but something invisible holds him back. His smile vanishes. What is this? I don't know. I just know I can feel it. Power humming up through the stone, through my feet, into my blood. The same way the tunnel marks responded to my touch. The circle is still active, Kale says quietly. The protections still hold. Impossible. But Ronan tries again, and again he can't cross. His warriors try from different points, each one bouncing off an invisible barrier. I feel it now, the shape of it. A dome of protection rising from the stones, keyed to something in my blood. Kale blood, boundary witch blood. Ronan's face twists with rage. You can't stay there forever. Eventually you'll have to come out. Maybe. I shift the triplets higher against my chest. Or maybe we'll wait until someone with actual authority shows up. I am the authority, Ronan snarls. I am Alpha. You're a traitor. The new voice comes from the darkness beyond the stones. An old woman steps into the moonlight, leaning on a twisted staff. Her hair is white, her face weathered, but her eyes are sharp as broken glass. Elder Era. Ronan's voice changes, becomes careful. I didn't expect, clearly. She moves past his warriors, ignoring them completely, and stops at the circle's edge. Unlike Ronan, she crosses the boundary easily, stepping into the protected space like she has every right. She looks at me, at the babies, at Kale. Her expression reveals nothing. So, her voice is dry, ancient. The last Kale daughter, a rejected Alpha King, and 3 prophesied children. I should have known the boundary would wake for this. You know about the prophecy? I ask. Child, I helped carve it. She points to the largest stone. Read it. I move closer, squinting at worn symbols. The words are old, but something in my blood recognizes them, translates them. 3 moons born of blood and bridge, 3 hearts that walk between worlds. They will break the pacts or bind them. Through them the boundary falls or holds forever. My arms tighten around the triplets. They're just babies. They're the first human wolf children born under a full moon in 300 years. Ira's staff taps the stone. They're either salvation or doom. We don't know which yet. Ronan speaks from outside the circle. They're abominations. The council voted under your lies, Ronan Drax. Ira doesn't even look at him. You staged the rejection. You orchestrated the coup. You convinced the Pax their king had abandoned them. He did abandon us. He chose a human over his own kind. He chose his mate and his children. That's what any good male would do. Ira turns to Kale. You should have come to me. I would have protected you. I didn't think I could trust anyone. Fair enough. She looks back at me. Show me your hands, girl. I shift the babies and hold out my free hand. She takes it, turns it over, studying my palm. Then she pulls out a small knife, and before I can react, cuts my palm open. I hiss, but don't pull away. Blood wells up, dark and red. Ira holds my hand over the altar stone and lets 3 drops fall. The drops don't splatter. They hang in the air, suspended. Then they glow, bright white, before sinking into the stone. The entire circle flares with light. Every carved symbol, every protection ward, every ancient promise blazes like contained fire. Ronan's warriors step back, shielding their eyes. Even Ira looks impressed. Well then, she releases my hand. That answers that. Answers what? Whether you're really Kale, whether the boundary witch bloodline survived. She smiles, sharp and satisfied. It did. In you. I want to argue, to say, I'm just a girl who collects herbs and doesn't fit anywhere. But the proof is glowing all around us, responding to blood I didn't know had power. Ira turns to face Ronan and his warriors. By the old laws that predate your council and your petty politics, I invoke sanctuary. This human is Boundary Witch, last of the Kale line. The king and his heirs fall under her protection until proper judgment can be made. You can't. I can, and I have. Ira's voice cracks like a whip. Any wolf who crosses this circle to harm them answers to me, and to every elder who remembers what we were before we became fractured and afraid. Ronan's jaw works. He wants to argue, but even he can't ignore an elder's direct invocation. Finally, he spits on the ground. This isn't over. No, Ira agrees. It's just beginning. He leaves, his warriors following. Their howls echo through the forest, angry and frustrated, but they don't cross the circle. They can't. When they're gone, I finally let myself breathe. My legs give out and I sit hard on the altar stone, the triplets still clutched against my chest. Kale drops beside me, his hand finding my shoulder. You saved us. Again. I didn't do anything. I just stood here. You stood in the right place, Ira says. That's more than most would have done. She lowers herself onto a stone, groaning. Now then, we have much to discuss, and very little time to discuss it. What happens now? I ask. Now, we keep you alive long enough for the council to see the truth. She looks at Kale. Ronan has been telling them you went mad, that you killed your own mate and stole human babies to raise as weapons against the Pax. That's insane, but believable, especially after the way you disappeared. Ira sighs. The council must meet formally. They must see these children, hear the prophecy, understand what's at stake. Only then can your title and your life be restored. Kale shakes his head. They won't listen. Ronan has spent months poisoning them against me. They'll listen when I make them. Ira's smile is sharp. I may be old, but I'm still an elder. I still have influence, and I have something Ronan doesn't. What? The truth, and a boundary witch to verify it. She looks at me, and I feel the weight of her expectations settle on my shoulders like a physical thing. I don't know how to be a boundary witch, I say. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You've already done it. You saved the king. You protected the children. You activated protections that have been dormant for centuries. Ira stands, staff clicking against stone. What you need now is training, understanding, and sanctuary while we prepare for the council meeting. Where? My home. In the high mountains. Even Ronan won't risk attacking me there. She starts walking toward the forest edge. Come, We don't have time to waste. I look at Kale. He looks at the triplets, then at me. Something passes between us, unspoken, but understood. We're in this together now. All 5 of us. We follow Ira into the darkness, leaving the glowing circle behind. As we walk, I feel Kyle close beside me, his presence steady and warm. Thank you, he says quietly. For everything. Don't thank me yet, we're not safe. No, he agrees. But we're alive. That's more than I had any right to hope for. I shift Eric in my arms, his tiny weight already precious and familiar. They deserve to live. All of you do. Even me? A king who failed his people? You didn't fail them. They failed you. I glance at him. There's a difference. He's quiet for a long moment. Then his hand finds mine, fingers threading through mine carefully. I'm glad it was you. On the ridge. I'm glad you were the one who found us. My heart does something complicated in my chest. Me too. We walk through the night, following Ira's steady pace, carrying 3 sleeping babies toward a future none of us can predict. Behind us, my cottage burns. Ahead, wolves plot our destruction. But here, in this moment, we're together. And somehow that feels like enough. Ira's sanctuary is built into the mountain itself. We reach it 3 days after leaving the ruins. 3 days of careful travel, avoiding settlements, staying off main paths. The triplets are remarkably quiet, as if they understand the danger. Kale is stronger each day, his healing accelerated now that the silver is purged from his system. The sanctuary is hidden behind wards so powerful I can feel them humming in my teeth. Ira speaks words I don't understand, and the entrance appears. A doorway carved into living rock. Inside, it's bigger than it should be. Stone rooms that branch like a labyrinth, lit by crystals that glow without heat. Herbs hanging from rafters, books stacked on every surface, weapons on the walls, old and well-maintained. Make yourselves comfortable, Ira says. You'll be here a while. She gives us a room with a large bed, a cradle clearly meant for the triplets, and a fireplace already burning. Privacy, safety. Things we haven't had since I found them on the ridge. I settle the babies in the cradle, while Kale checks the windows, the doors, his military training showing in every careful movement. It's safe here, I tell him. Nowhere is safe. Then it's safer than anywhere else. He finally stops moving and looks at me. Really looks at me. In daylight. Without blood or smoke or desperation between us. I never properly thanked you. You've thanked me several times. Not enough. Never enough. He crosses to me, stopping close enough that I can feel his warmth. You risked everything for strangers. You lost your home, your safety, everything your grandmother left you. I got something better. I glance at the sleeping triplets. I got them. I got you. His expression shifts, something raw and vulnerable crossing his face. Saren. Era appears in the doorway. Less staring, more learning. Girl, you're with me. Kale, there's food in the kitchen. Feed yourself, then rest. You're still recovering. I follow Era through twisting corridors to a circular room lined with mirrors and carved stones. She gestures for me to sit in the center. What you did at the ruins was instinct, she says. Pure Kale blood responding to ancient magic. But instinct won't be enough when we face the council. You need to understand what you are. I'm just. You're the last boundary witch. The final living descendant of the women who held the peace between humans and wolves for 3,000 years. She circles me slowly. Your blood carries power. Old power. The kind that doesn't bow to councils or politics or new laws. The kind that remembers when both sides needed each other to survive. I don't feel powerful. You activated dormant wards. You made sanctuary space respond. You made Ronan Drax himself unable to cross a line in stone. She stops in front of me. You are powerful. You just don't know how to use it yet. She spends hours teaching me how to sense wards, how to strengthen them, how to read old symbols and understand their purpose, how to let my blood speak to magic built by my ancestors. It's exhausting. By the time she releases me, my head throbs and my hands shake. I find Kale in the kitchen, feeding the triplets. He's gotten good at it, holding 2 at once while keeping watch on the 3rd, domestic and dangerous all at once. How was training? He asks. Overwhelming. I take Lena from him, settling her against my shoulder. I keep thinking I'm going to wake up, and this will all be a dream. I'll be back in my cottage, alone, wondering if I'm going crazy like everyone says. You're not crazy. And you're not alone anymore. I meet his eyes. Neither are you. Something passes between us. The same pull I felt on the ridge, on the tunnel floor, in every quiet moment we've shared. It's stronger now, harder to ignore. Era appears again, breaking the moment. Tomorrow, we begin political preparation. The council meeting is in 1 week. You need to understand pack law, hierarchy, ritual. You need to be prepared for every argument they'll throw at you. Will they really listen? I ask. They'll have to. I'm invoking old law they can't ignore without invalidating their own authority. She looks at Kale. But they'll test you both. They'll try to break you. Ronan will have prepared them, turned them against you. You need to be stronger than their doubt. The next days blur together. Training with Ira, caring for the triplets. Stolen moments with Kale that feel both innocent and charged, hovering on the edge of something we haven't named yet. I learn about wolf culture, their strict hierarchies, their fear of change, their belief that mixing with humans weakens the bloodline, makes them vulnerable. But the prophecy says the opposite. I argue during one lesson. It says the triplets could unite the packs. Or destroy them. Era reminds me. Prophecy is tricky. It shows possibility, not certainty. The triplets' existence threatens everything the current system is built on. That makes them dangerous, even if they're also salvation. They're babies. They're not dangerous. Not yet. But scared people don't think clearly. They see threat first, potential second. She's right, and I hate it. One night, unable to sleep, I find Kale on the balcony overlooking the mountain valley. The triplets are asleep inside, watched by Era's wards. For once, we're truly alone. Can't sleep? He asks. Too much in my head. I join him at the railing. What happens if the council says no? If they uphold the death sentence? Then we run. We find somewhere far from pack territory. We raise them in hiding. That's not a life. It's better than dead. I turn to face him. You were a king. You ruled these people. Don't you want that back? His jaw tightens. I want my children safe. Everything else is secondary. But you were good at it. I can tell from the way Era talks about you. The way even your enemies respect you enough to fear you. I touch his arm. You could be that again. With you? The question catches me off guard. What? If I reclaim my throne, if the council accepts the triplets, I'll need a partner, a queen. He turns to face me fully. Boundary witches used to stand beside pack leaders. They were bridges, diplomats, keepers of balance. My heart hammers. You're asking me to be your queen? I'm asking if you'd consider it. If this, he gestures between us, is something you feel too. I do feel it. The pull, the connection, the way my chest tightens when he's near and relaxes when he's close. The way I've started thinking of the triplets as ours instead of his. I feel it, I admit, but I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's just trauma bonding or gratitude or a mating bond. I stare at him. What? It's rare. Usually wolves only mate once. But sometimes, when the first bond breaks or fails, a second chance appears. His hand lifts, tucking hair behind my ear. The way I feel around you isn't normal. It's too strong, too fast, too right. Like my soul recognized yours before my mind caught up. That sounds like a story. Stories come from somewhere. His thumb brushes my cheek. I've been trying to fight it, trying to tell myself I'm just grateful, or desperate, or confused. But I don't think that's what this is. I can barely breathe. What do you think it is? A second chance, for both of us. His eyes search mine. You don't fit with humans. I can't fit with wolves anymore. But together, with these children, we could build something new, something better. I want to kiss him. Want it so badly my lips tingle with anticipation. But something holds me back. What if I'm not strong enough? What if I fail you? You won't. You don't know that. I know you crossed a kill line alone to save strangers. I know you burned your home rather than abandon us. I know you stood in front of warriors without flinching. His hand curves around my jaw. You're the strongest person I've ever met. You just don't see it yet. This time, when he leans in, I don't pull away. Our lips meet carefully, testing. Then deeper, hungrier, as if we've both been starving for this. His hands slide into my hair. Mine grip his shoulders. The kiss is everything I didn't know I needed. Fierce and gentle, claiming and offering, a promise and a question all at once. When we finally break apart, both breathing hard, he rests his forehead against mine. Whatever happens at the council, Whatever they decide, I want you to know I choose you. I choose this. I choose us. I choose us too, I whisper. Inside, one of the triplets cries. We smile against each other's mouths and go back inside, together, ready to face whatever comes next. The days before the council meeting take on a strange rhythm. Mornings, I train with Aira. She teaches me to sense pack bonds, read dominance hierarchies, understand the invisible threads that connect wolf communities. She teaches me defensive wards, protective circles, ways to make my blood sing with old power. Afternoons, I study pack law with Kale. He explains the council structure, who holds what power, which elders might be sympathetic, which ones Ronan has corrupted. He teaches me how to stand, how to speak, how to project authority without aggression. Evenings belong to the triplets. Feeding, changing, playing. Eric is serious and watchful, already showing signs of his father's careful nature. Kira is loud and demanding, refusing to be ignored. Lena is gentle, often content to simply observe. Nights belong to Kale and me. Nothing explicit, nothing inappropriate, just closeness. His hand finding mine, my head on his shoulder. Whispered conversations in the dark about fears and hopes and futures we're not sure we'll live to see. The mating bond grows stronger each day. I feel it now, a golden thread connecting us. When he's in pain, I ache. When I'm afraid, he steadies. We're becoming something new, something neither of us expected. Tell me about your first mate, I say one night. He's quiet for a long moment. Her name was Alara, beautiful, powerful, perfect choice for a queen according to the council. Did you love her? I thought I did. But looking back, I think I loved the idea of her, the stability she represented, the alliance she brought. He turns to face me in the darkness. She rejected me publicly when Ronan made his move. Told the packs I was corrupted by human contact, that I'd endangered them all. That must have hurt. It did. But not as much as it should have. His fingers thread through mine. I think I knew, even then, that she wasn't my true match. I just didn't know what that would feel like until I met you. I've never had anyone, I admit. The village girls thought I was strange. The boys avoided me because their mothers said I was cursed with Kale weirdness. I laugh softly. Maybe they were right. You're not cursed. You're gifted. Same thing, depending on who you ask. He kisses my forehead. Then I'm glad you're cursed. It brought you to that ridge. It brought you to us. 3 days before the council meeting, Aira drops new information. You have allies you don't know about, she says, spreading a map across the table. Merrick Voss, Northern Alpha. He's distant Kale family, connected through your great-grandmother's line. He's been quietly opposing Ronan for months. Why? Because he remembers the old ways. He remembers when boundary witches kept the peace, when humans and wolves traded instead of hiding from each other. She taps the map. He'll speak for you at the council. So will I. So will 3 other elders who remember what Kale was before Ronan poisoned everything. Will it be enough? Honestly, I don't know. The council is split. Half believe Ronan's lies. Half aren't sure what to believe. You and Kale need to be perfect. No mistakes, no weakness, no doubt, no pressure, I mutter. Kale squeezes my hand under the table. We can do this. The night before we leave for the council meeting, I can't sleep. I pace the room while the triplets sleep peacefully in their cradle, while Kale watches me with patient eyes. What if I freeze? I ask. What if I stand in front of all those wolves and forget everything? You won't. You don't know that. I know you. He stands, crossing to me, pulling me against his chest. I know you're terrified. I know you think you're not ready. But I also know you'll stand in that council hall and fight for these children like you fought for them from the beginning. What if it's not enough? Then we tried. We gave them every chance to choose the right path. He tilts my face up. But I don't think we'll have to run. I think you're going to surprise them. I think you're going to show them exactly what a boundary witch can do. I want to believe him. So I kiss him instead, pouring all my fear and hope and desperate love into the connection between us. He responds in kind, hands gentle but firm, anchoring me when I feel like I might fly apart. When we break apart, I whisper, no matter what happens, I don't regret saving you. Good, because I plan to spend the rest of my life making sure you never do. Morning comes too fast. We dress carefully, Ira providing clothes appropriate for council. For Kale, traditional pack formal wear, marking him as royalty. For me, Something in between human and wolf style, carefully neutral, with Rowena's knife at my belt and Kale symbols embroidered at the collar. The triplets are dressed in matching outfits, tiny and perfect. Eric in dark blue, Kira in silver, Lena in soft green, colors that mean peace, according to Era. They'll try to take the children from you, Era warns as we prepare to leave. Don't let them. Keep them close. Let the council see you protecting them. Let them see that you're not afraid. I am afraid. Then be afraid and brave at the same time. That's what courage is. We travel to the council meeting under heavy guard. Era's personal warriors, older wolves who remember the old laws and refuse to be corrupted. They form a protective circle around us, silent and intimidating. The council hall is carved into a mountain, ancient and imposing. Wolves in human form line the entrance, watching us pass with hostile eyes. Inside, the chamber is massive, tiered seating rising up on all sides, focusing down on a central platform. We're escorted to the platform. Kale, me, the triplets. Era stands to our left. On our right, a large man with Kale eyes who must be Marek Voss nods slightly in greeting. Above us, the council. 20 wolves in positions of power. At the center, in the highest seat, sits Ronan Drax, looking smug and powerful. Let the judgment begin, he announces. The council chamber feels like a stone throat trying to swallow us whole. I stand on the platform holding Lena while Kale holds Eric and Kira. Every eye in the room tracks our movements. Hostile, curious, judging. Ronan speaks first, his voice carrying to every corner. The council is here to judge Kale Draven, former Alpha King, accused of breaking sacred law, endangering the packs, and producing forbidden offspring. Additionally, we judge the human woman Saren Kale, accused of aiding a condemned criminal. Objection. Era's voice cracks like thunder. You have no authority to judge the Boundary Witch. She falls under ancient law, outside pact jurisdiction. Murmurs ripple through the council. Ronan's smile tightens. The Boundary Witches are extinct. This girl is simply human. Then explain how she activated the first circle. Explain how her blood lit wards that have been dark for 3 centuries. Era gestures to me. She is Kale. She is Boundary Witch. And by laws that predate your council, she is untouchable. More murmurs, louder this time. An older female council member leans forward. Elder Era, you vouch for this claim? I witnessed it myself. Her blood woke the ancient protections. The ruins recognized her. Another council member, this one male with gray in his hair, speaks up. Even if true, she aided a criminal. She harbored the condemned king and his offspring. She exercised her right as Boundary Witch to grant sanctuary. A right your laws cannot override. The debate goes on, legal arguments flying over my head. I focus on keeping my breathing steady, on holding Lena close, on not showing the fear churning in my stomach. Finally, Ronan interrupts. Enough. We're not here to debate ancient history. We're here to judge Kale Draven. He turns his attention to Kale, and his expression turns venomous. You were trusted with leadership. You were chosen to protect and strengthen the packs. Instead, you formed an alliance with humans. You mated with a human woman. You produced half-breed offspring that threaten our very existence. I fell in love, Kale says calmly. I mated honestly. My children are innocent. Your children are prophecy made flesh. 3 moons born of blood and bridge. They will destroy us. Or unite us. You're willing to gamble every wolf's life on that possibility? I'm willing to give them a chance. Kale's voice rises. These children didn't choose to be born. They didn't ask to fulfill some ancient prophecy. They're just babies who deserve to live. Abominations don't deserve anything. Kale moves forward, and I feel his rage through our bond, hot and sharp. I touch his arm, pulling him back. Don't. That's what he wants. He steadies, jaw clenched, but stays beside me. Marek Voss stands. I would speak. Ronan looks annoyed but nods. The Northern Alpha may address the council. I've known Kyle Draven since he was young. I watched him grow into leadership. I saw him forge alliances with packs that had been enemies for generations. He modernized our laws, protected our territories, gave us prosperity we hadn't seen in decades. Marek's voice carries weight. He was the best king we've had in a century, and you destroyed him because he loved someone you didn't approve of. He broke the law, someone shouts from the upper tiers. Laws can be wrong. Laws can be changed. Marek looks at me, and if the Boundary Witch has truly returned, maybe it's time we remembered why those laws existed in the first place. Era stands as well. I propose a different judgment, Not execution, but trial by truth. Let both sides present their full story, their intentions, their hearts. Let the council see everything before deciding. How? Ronan demands. The trial of Heartsong. Silence falls. Complete, heavy silence. Finally, someone whispers, "That ritual hasn't been performed in 200 years. Then it's overdue." Era looks at me. The Boundary Witch and any challenger enter a circle of memory. They share their truest thoughts, their deepest motivations, their ancestral connections. Everything is laid bare. Truth cannot hide. Ronan laughs. You want to put a human through Heartsong? She'll die. Perhaps, or perhaps she's stronger than you think. Era meets my eyes. It's your choice, child. This ritual is dangerous. It could break your mind, but it will prove your truth beyond doubt. I look at the triplets. At Kale. At the council members who lean forward, curious despite themselves. I'll do it. Kale grips my arm. Saren, you don't have to. Yes, I do. This is the only way they'll believe us. Ronan steps down from his seat. Fine. I accept the challenge. Let's see what the human's truth really looks like. Space is cleared in the center of the platform. Era draws symbols with chalk and ash, creating a circle large enough for 2 people. She places crystals at 4 points, each one glowing softly. Once you enter, you cannot leave until the ritual completes. You'll see each other's memories, feel each other's emotions, know each other's truth. She looks between Ronan and me. This will hurt. Steel yourselves. Marek takes the triplets from us, holding them carefully. Kale squeezes my hand one last time. Show them who you are. I step into the circle. Ronan enters from the opposite side. Era speaks words in a language I don't know, and the crystals flare bright. Then the world tilts. I'm no longer in the council hall. I'm inside Ronan's memories. I see him as a child, always second choice, always in Kale's shadow. I feel his envy like acid, burning slow and constant. I watch him grow into adulthood, charming and clever, hiding resentment behind smiles. I see him plotting. Late-night meetings with Lucien Corin and others. Plans to discredit Kyle, to turn the council against him. I see Ronan approach Alara, Kale's mate, offering her power if she'll publicly reject the king. I see Ronan's delight when it works, when Kale falls, when the execution is ordered. I feel his hunger for the throne. Not to serve the Pax, but to rule them. To finally be first instead of second. Then the memory flips. Now Ronan is in my mind. He sees my childhood, lonely and strange. He feels my grandmother's lessons, the weight of legacy I never understood. He watches me cross the ridge, find the bleeding stranger, make the choice to help. He feels my fear, my doubt, my certainty that I'm doing the right thing even if it costs everything. He sees my love for the triplets growing day by day, sees me learning to feed them, change them, soothe their cries, feels my fierce, protective love that would burn the world down before letting harm touch them. He sees Kale and me together, sees the bond forming, the second chance mating taking root, feels how deeply I care, how completely I've chosen this path. And beneath it all, he feels something he didn't expect. Power. Old Kale power running through every memory, every choice, every moment. Proof that I'm exactly what Era claimed. The memories accelerate. I see Ronan's crimes laid bare. Wolves he betrayed, laws he twisted, lives he destroyed to gain power. I show him everything I am. Not powerful, not special, just someone who chose love over fear, who chose to protect the innocent even when it made no sense. The crystal light grows blinding. I feel Ronan fighting, trying to hide his darkest thoughts, but the ritual won't let him. Every corrupt desire, every selfish motive, every lie spills out for the council to witness. Finally, the light dies. I'm on my knees in the circle, gasping for air. Across from me, Ronan has collapsed completely, hands over his face. The council sits in complete silence. Era speaks into the quiet. You have seen both truths, one driven by envy and hunger for power, one driven by love and the courage to stand between worlds. She looks at each council member. Choose. Slowly, one by one, they stand. The female elder first. I vote to restore Kale Draven as Alpha King. Then Marek. Restore the king. Recognize the Boundary Witch. Protect the children. More voices, one after another, until only a handful remain seated. The vote is clear. The gray-haired elder who questioned me earlier stands last. The council recognizes Saren Kale as Boundary Witch, with all rights and protections of ancient law. We restore Kael Draven to his throne. We acknowledge his children as legitimate heirs, protected under prophecy law, until they come of age and their path becomes clear. Ronan lifts his head, face twisted with rage and defeat. You're making a mistake. The only mistake was believing your lies. The elder's voice is cold. Ronan Drax, you are stripped of title and authority. You will be exiled from Packlands. If you return, the sentence is death. Guards move forward, hauling Ronan to his feet. He fights, snarling, but they're stronger. As they drag him away, his eyes lock on mine. This isn't over. Prophecy doesn't care about council votes. Those children will destroy everything, and you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Then he's gone. I'm still on my knees, trembling with exhaustion. Kael drops beside me, pulling me against his chest. You did it, he whispers. You saved us. We saved each other. Merrick approaches with the triplets. All three are awake, looking around with curious eyes. Kira reaches for me, and I take her gratefully, holding her close. Era helps me stand. Well done, Boundary Witch. Your grandmother would be proud. The council begins filing out, some stopping to nod respectfully, others avoiding eye contact. The hall slowly empties until it's just us and a few guards. The gray-haired elder approaches. A formal coronation will be held in 3 days. Kael Draven will be reinstated as Alpha King. And you, Saren Kael, will be recognized as his Boundary Queen, if you accept the title. I look at Kael, at the triplets, at the future we might actually get to have. I accept. The elder smiles. Good. The packs need both of you. They just don't know it yet. He turns to leave, then pauses. One more thing. The prophecy is real. Those children will change everything. Make sure you're ready when they do. Then we're alone. Kael sits on the edge of the platform, still holding Eric and Lena. I sit beside him with Kira. For a long moment, we just breathe. I can't believe that actually worked, I say. I can. He looks at me, eyes warm. You were incredible. I was terrified. Brave and terrified. Like Era said, that's courage. Kira fusses, and I adjust her against my shoulder. What happens now? Now we go home. We raise these 3. We try to build something better than what came before. He reaches over, threading his fingers through mine. Together. Together. I agree. Outside the council hall, the sun is setting, painting the mountains gold and pink. We walk out into the light, 5 of us instead of broken pieces, ready to face whatever comes next. 3 months later, on the night of the triplets' first full moon, we stand at the boundary. The old oak marks the place where human land meets wolf territory. Era and Marek have been working for weeks, restoring the treaty stones, cleaning away centuries of neglect. Now they stand tall and proud, carved with both human and wolf symbols, representing the alliance that once was and might be again. A crowd has gathered, wolves on one side, humans on the other, with a nervous space between them. This is the first official meeting between the 2 groups in over a century. Kael stands beside me in formal coronation robes. I wear the ceremonial dress of a Boundary Witch, designed by Era using old patterns from forgotten books. The fabric is cream and gray, embroidered with symbols from both worlds. Between us, in a specially made cradle, the triplets sleep peacefully. They've grown so much in 3 months. Stronger, more alert, starting to smile and reach for things. Eric is serious and watchful. Kira demands attention constantly. Lena is gentle and observant. Our children. Not just his, not just mine. Ours. Era steps forward to officiate. We gather tonight to witness a bonding unlike any in living memory. A wolf king and a boundary witch, pledging to stand together, to rule together, to protect the space between our worlds. The ceremony is old, pulled from texts that predate the separation. Kael and I face each other, hands joined. I, Kael Draven, Alpha King of the Varen Pax, pledge to rule with wisdom from both worlds, to honor human alliance as I honor wolf tradition, to protect the boundary not as a wall, but as a bridge. His eyes hold mine. And I pledge to stand beside my mate, my partner, my queen, for as long as we both live. My turn. My voice shakes slightly, but I push through. I, Saren Kael, last of the Boundary Witches, pledge to guard the space between worlds, to speak for those who have no voice, to keep the peace when others seek war. I squeeze his hands, and I pledge to stand beside my mate, my partner, my king, for as long as we both live. Era smiles. Then by ancient law and new hope, I recognize this bond. May it bring strength to both your peoples. She nods to Marek, who steps forward with 2 small crowns. One for Kyle, silver worked with wolf symbols. One for me, similar but twined with oak leaves and kale markings. We crown each other, king and queen, wolf and witch, bridge instead of wall. The crowd erupts. Not quite celebration, not yet, but acknowledgement, witnesses to history being made. After the formal ceremony, we move to the treaty stone. Kale and I each cut our palms, letting blood fall together onto the carved surface. Wolf blood and kale blood, mixing, sealing the new alliance. The stone glows softly, accepting the oath. Then the triplets wake up. Eric first, followed quickly by his sisters. They're fussy, overstimulated by the crowd and the late hour. Kale lifts Eric while I take Kira and Lena. We stand at the exact boundary line, our children in our arms. And we let them walk. Eric first, holding Kyle's fingers, toddling from wolf territory into human land. Kira next, gripping my hands, crossing the same invisible line. Lena between us, supported by both parents, moving from one world to the other. The crowd watches in silence. These children, prophesied to either break or bind, walking freely between worlds their parents were forbidden to cross. A human woman starts crying. Then a wolf. Not from sadness, but from something else. Hope, maybe. Or relief that maybe. Finally, things could be different. Later, after the crowds disperse and we're back in our new home, the restored royal residence with rooms for the triplets and Ira's protective wards woven through every wall, Kale finds me on the balcony. Tired? He asks, wrapping his arms around me from behind. Exhausted, happy, terrified, I lean back against him. All of it at once. That's parenting. He kisses my temple. That's ruling. That's life. I watch the stars, the same ones that watched me cross that ridge 3 months ago. Do you think we can really do this? Build something better? I think we already started. His hand finds mine, threading our fingers together. We saved them. We changed the laws. We gave both sides a reason to hope. And when they grow up, when the prophecy starts to matter, then we'll face it together, all 5 of us. He turns me to face him. I was rejected once, cast out, left to die. But you found me. You chose me. You gave me a second chance at everything I thought I'd lost. You did the same for me. I touch his face. I was lonely and lost, and didn't fit anywhere. Now I fit here, with you, with them. He kisses me then, slow and deep, tasting like promises and forever. When we break apart, I whisper, I love you. I love you too. He rests his forehead against mine. My boundary witch. My impossible, brave, stubborn queen. Inside, one of the triplets starts crying. Probably Kira, who has the best lungs. We smile against each other's mouths and head back inside, ready for whatever this strange, beautiful life will bring. Because we're not alone anymore. Not rejected, not exiled, not hiding. We're a family, a bridge, a new kind of pack. And whatever comes next, we'll face it together. 6 years later, I'm in the garden when I hear them coming. 3 distinct laughing voices, growing louder as they run through the courtyard. Eric appears first, dark hair wild, carrying a frog he caught in the stream. Mom, look! Kira crashes into him from behind, shrieking with joy. I found 3 frogs, I win! Lena walks more carefully, holding her single frog gently. Mine is the prettiest. I set down my herbs and let them show me their treasures. They're 6 now, growing fast, showing more of their heritage every day. Eric has his father's careful leadership, already protective of his sisters. Kira has my stubbornness and his strength. Lena has a quiet power that reminds me of Rowena. They can shift now. Small wolf pups with mixed coloring, unusual but beautiful. They run with the pack children during the day and study human reading and writing at night. Bridge children, comfortable in both worlds. Where's Dad? I ask. Meeting with the Northern Alphas, Eric says. He said he'll be back for dinner. And Grandma Ira is teaching us symbols tomorrow, Lena adds. She says we're ready for advanced wards. Kira groans. Boring. I want to learn fighting. You're learning both, I tell her. That's the deal. They grumble but accept it. They're used to being different, to having responsibilities that other children don't have. The prophecy children, the ones who will either save everything or destroy it. But for now, they're just kids. Just 3 6-year-olds chasing frogs and arguing about who found the best one. Kale arrives as promised, taking time to admire each frog before the children release them back to the stream. At dinner, we eat together, a normal family doing normal things. Later, after the triplets are asleep, we stand on our balcony looking out over the territory. The boundary is still there, still marked with stones, but now it's crossed daily. Humans trade with wolves, children play together. Peace isn't perfect, but it's real. Do you ever regret it? Kale asks. Everything you gave up? I gave up a lonely cottage and a life of hiding who I was. I lean into him. I got 3 beautiful children, a mate who loves me, and a purpose that matters. Not much of a sacrifice. Still, you could have had a normal life. Normal is overrated. I look up at him. I'd rather have this. I'd rather have us. He kisses me, tender and sure, a promise kept every single day. Above us, the full moon shines bright. The same moon that watched me find a bleeding stranger on the ridge. The same moon that blessed 3 impossible children. The same moon that guides us still. We were rejected. We were condemned. We were left to die. But we survived. We fought. We built something new from the ashes of the old world's fears. And we're not done yet. The prophecy is still unfulfilled. Threats still lurk in the shadows. Traditionalists still whisper that the triplets should never have lived. But we're ready. King and queen, wolf and witch, parents and protectors. Whatever comes next, we'll face it the same way we've faced everything else. Together.